July 16th, 2022. Welcome back, everybody. This is your host, Brody, at AlphonsoInvestments, here to bring you folks another amazing video. 110 subscribers. Welcome, everybody. If you don't know what we do here, we make Magic the Gathering content for Magic the Gathering players. Starting out with the very first group of Freetreons in existence: Smash Jackson, Garen Jotter, Dusty Cully, Murray Cooper, Coin Pomeroy, Tyler Friesen, Tyler Harrison, Kyle Mears, and covering the Magic the Gathering universe on the other end of the nation, the one and only MTG Moxman, who will be bringing us the top 10 this weekend. Really exciting to see that. I'd like to thank all you 110 subscribers, fans of Magic the Gathering, for joining us today. Onboarding new subscribers, like to welcome to the channel Brandon 101, Zach Coltrane, Yogism, Graham Unger, Evil Keybutt, Nikki Putter, Angel Royas, and Wesley McLeod. Thanks to all you folks for joining the channel, and I want to give a special shout out to the Roll on the Floor Laughing Llama. I didn't understand the first time I see it, but now it drives me into absolute hilarity. The Roll on the Floor Laughing Llama. That's a hilarious name. A shout out to Savannah Lion and everybody over on the other side of the world who's watching, spreading love and peace to the universe. I want to say a special shout out to you folks, and thanks a lot for watching. We're watching you on the other side of the universe of Magic the Gathering. Shout outs today to everybody watching on the Freetreon, and to those of you tuning in on the Juice. The juice is in the house, and the house is in the juice. Brody has a coffee. We're getting ready to see what's going to be up on the top 10 this week over on the Moxman's channel, but Brody's got the most compelling analysis on the bottom end of the reserve list. That bottom half that no one cares about, and the most compelling analysis of the bottom 10 reserve list cards that no one cares about. Me and my cousin Jimmy have to give a dishonorable mention to this card coming in at the bottom end of our list last week, Winter's Night. Nobody cares about this card. A lot of really cool mechanics to discuss today, but there's a couple of cards that I'm really excited to talk to you folks about. One being the Ozlith, which is a really amazing card that moves counters around. The Ozlith says whenever a creature leaves the battlefield, if it had counters on it, put those counters on the Ozlith. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if the Ozlith has counters on it, you may move all counters from Ozlith onto target creature. So we're going to visit a few cards on the reserve list today that are way down at the bottom end of the reserve list, where no one cares about them. And when they were printed, there weren't cards like the Ozlith or Vorpal Sword, another card that can just win you the game if the creature attacking deals combat damage to a player. So let's get right into the video. Coming in at number 10 on our list this week, the Infernal Denizen from Ice Age. This is a demon card. For $1.32, you can get a copy of the Infernal Denizen into your collection, or €1.68. The Infernal Denizen is a 5/7 demon from Ice Age. Infernal Denizen says, during your upkeep, sacrifice 2 swamps. If you cannot, tap Infernal Denizen, and target opponent may gain control of target creature of his or her choice you control. The opponent loses control of that creature if Infernal Denizen leaves play. Tap. Gain control of target creature. Lose control of that creature if Infernal Denizen leaves play. This card just straight up taps to gain control of anything on the board. Back in Ice Age when this was printed, with the downside of sacrificing 2 swamps, this seems unplayable. But in this day and age, what cards do we have that this works well with that have been printed later on? Well, because it's a demon, it works with Liliana's Contract. If you control enough demons, it straight up wins you the game. So the creature type is super relevant. It also works well with Crucible of Worlds or Ramanap Excavator, cards that allow you to play lands from the graveyard, which we didn't have back in Ice Age. Combine that with Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, and Drownyard Temple, where everything becomes a swamp, and you can play those lands back onto the battlefield. Infernal Denizen's downside of sacrificing 2 swamps in today's day and age doesn't seem too bad, and I don't think anybody's even considered it since printing of all these other amazing cards. And it's way down at the bottom end of the reserve list where no one cares about it, so we're buying it. Which brings us to the next card on our list, Trailblazer from Ice Age. Again, for $1.32, you can get a copy of Trailblazer into your collection, or €1, 11 euro cent. Trailblazer is an instant that costs 2 green and 2. It says, target creature cannot be blocked this turn. Our elvish hunter Tezedi led us swiftly among hidden paths through the dense forest. We caught the orcs from behind and completely by surprise. Lucille Fixdaughter, leader of the Order of the White Shield. This card basically costs 4 mana and seems unplayable and hardly worth the 4 mana back in Ice Age to make a creature unblockable. But what does that do for us in this day and age with cards like Vorpal Sword, that when it is equipped to any creature and it deals combat damage, it straight up wins you the game? Or other cards at the bottom end of the reserve list like Kukemsa Pirates that take control of your opponent's artifacts that are on the battlefield if they connect. The ability to loop this over and play it again out of the graveyard with Snapcaster Mage makes Trailblazer an actually pretty powerful card that no one cares about. It's coming in at number 9 on our list this week, way down to the bottom of the reserve list, so we're buying it. Which brings us to the next card on our list, number 8, Illusionary Presence. For $1.50 or €1.30, you can get a copy of Illusionary Presence in your collection. Another fantastic Ice Age for under $2. Illusionary Presence is a creature with cumulative upkeep of 1 blue, costs 2 blue and 1 to play it. During your upkeep, Illusionary Presence gains landwalk ability of your choice until end of turn. We could feel the shaman's power as surely as we felt the storm. Illusionary Presence may be a 1/1, but in a commander game where there's going to be multiple land types on the board, paying 1 blue doesn't seem like a bad cost to make it unblockable. Combined with any sort of Fire and Ice, Vorpal Sword, a poison counter, infect type of deck, Illusionary Presence can win you the game back in Ice Age, but it's way down at the bottom end of the reserve list where no one cares about Illusionary Presence, so we're buying it. Bringing us to the next card on our list. Coming in at number 7, Subterranean Spirit. Subterranean Spirit's from Mirage Block. It'll cost you $1.75 to get a copy into your collection, or €1, 6 euro cent. Subterranean Spirit, it's a creature. It's a 3/3 for 2 red and 3. It's got protection from red. Tap it. Subterranean Spirit deals 1 damage to each creature with flying. Air hot with sulfur. Earth heaves beneath me. Could it be the mountain? Ate something bad. A dwarven mining song. Subterranean Spirit from the Mirage Block taps and deals a damage to each creature with flying. That doesn't seem too good if you're playing it back in Mirage, but what cards does it work well with? If we give it Death Touch, it deals a damage to every flying creature on the board and kills it. If you give Subterranean Spirit just a little bit of charisma, look at this card. For 3 blue, whenever enchanted creature deals damage to a creature, gain control of the other creature as long as charisma remains on the battlefield. A charismatic Subterranean Spirit can do all kinds of powerful things on the board, especially in a 4-player game, and it's way down at the bottom end of the reserve list where no one cares about it, so we're buying it. This next card on our list, it's an interesting one. Way down at number 6. It's an enchantment from Alliances. It costs you $1.16 or €1, 33 euro cent to get a copy of Splintering Wind into your collection. This enchantment from Alliance is 2 green and 2 colorless mana. It says, 1 green and 2, Splintering Winds deals 1 damage to target creature. Put a Splinter token into play. Treat this token as a 1/1 green creature with flying and cumulative upkeep 1 green. If this token leaves play, it deals 1 damage to you and to each creature you control. Alright, so this enchantment, it costs 4, it sits on the battlefield, you activate it, it deals damage to any target creature, and then all of a sudden you get a 1/1 that if it dies, it deals damage all around the board. This is kind of a weird mechanic. It's hard to think how somebody could make this work. Splintering Wind tokens, well, it works with Subterranean Spirit if you want to kill those flying creatures, and if you want to somehow take a lot of damage and cast a copy of reverse damage, if you get a lot of 1/1s onto the battlefield, if you want to redirect that damage. If there's an enrage mechanic going around, if you can have a dinosaur that has flying with the enrage mechanic, this might be good. Brody's still on the lookout for cards that would work well or exceptionally well with Splintering Wind. If you have any ideas for me, please leave a comment in the comment section below. But as it stands, Splintering Wind is coming in at number 6 at the bottom end of the reserve list, so we're buying it. Bringing us to the next card on our list, number 5, Malignant Growth. From Mirage Block, for $1.45, you can get a copy of Malignant Growth into your collection, or €1.54. Malignant Growth is a Bant card. It's blue, a green, and 3, cumulative upkeep 1. This card is exceptionally powerful in group decks or multiplayer games. Cumulative upkeep of 1. During your upkeep, put a growth counter on Malignant Growth. During target opponent's draw phase, he or she draws an additional card for each growth counter on Malignant Growth. For each card that opponent draws in this way, Malignant Growth deals 1 damage to his or her. This is an odd card that is political. It makes players draw extra cards, which can either gain you a little bit of a political advantage around the board in a long 4-player game, or when card draw becomes a downside, this can target an opponent for having too many cards in hand or drawing extra cards. If you got any other great uses for this card, way down at the bottom of the end of the reserve list, leave us a comment in the comment section below. Malignant Growth, they're coming in at number 5 today on Brody Alfonso's bottom 10 reserve list cards that no one cares about. Bringing us to the next card on our list. This card, number 4, Natural Balance. From Mirage Block, a sorcery. It costs you $5.57 to get a copy of this into your collection, or €4.75. For 2 green and 2, each player controlling 6 or more lands sacrifices enough land to reduce his or her land total to 5. Each player controlling 4 or fewer lands may search his or her library for enough basic land to bring his or her land total to 5 and put those lands into play. Those players shuffle their libraries afterwards. This affects all players on the board. Back when this card was printed, the best we could do was maybe sacrifice our lands to a Zurban Orb and go get some other ones that maybe fixed our mana up a little bit. There's also a card called Overgrown Estate. You can sack a land for 3 life. Or if putting lands into the battlefield are cards that return all lands from the battlefield to play, Natural Order doesn't seem like too bad a card. There's also Valakut to keep in mind. If you have a way of sacking your lands, you keep 1 Valakut on the battlefield and you go get more basic mountains. This could be a playable card in a type escape shift build, but it's way down at the bottom end of the reserve list where no one cares about Natural Balance, so we're buying it. Bringing us to the next card on our list. A card that works with Natural Balance, no question there. Number 3, Squandered Resources, an enchantment card from Visions for $26.85. Wow, this card's gone up €23, 14 cent. This card's gone up since I've looked at it last. A black and green, this enchantment says, sack a land to add to your mana pool 1 mana of any type the sacrificed land could produce. Play this ability as a mana source. Well, here's a card that worked well with Winter's Night. If you're sacrificing lands and making extra mana, casting a copy of Natural Balance to get extra mana. Squandered Resources was a card that was big and a game winner back in the Visions block and in Ice Age block with Necropotent. Effective way to ramp out big spells and win the game. Squandered Resources is coming in at number 3 on Brody Alfonso's list this week of the bottom 10 reserve list cards that no one cares about, that we're buying. Bringing us to number 2 on our list. This card I'm super excited about. Thelon's Curse. Number 2 on our list is Thelon's Curse from Fallen Empires. For $1.29 or €1.92, you can get a copy of Thelon's Curse in your collection. A double green enchantment that's extremely powerful. Going back to the Fallen Empires block, there's another curse. There's another card called Thelon's Chant, which didn't make it on the reserve list. It's also quite powerful, but the Thelon's Curse is a hoser card that says blue creatures do not untap as normal during their controller's untap phase. During his or her upkeep, a blue creature's controller may pay an additional blue to untap that creature. Each creature may be untapped in this way only once per turn. So you can't abuse this to get multiple untaps, but for playing against a blue creature type deck, a merfolk deck, or any deck that you're going to tax the blue mage's mana, the Thelon's Curse seems like a very effective way to do so. And it's way at the bottom of our list at number 2 this week, so we're buying it. Bringing us to the number 1 card on our list this week. Now, back in the beginning of the video, you remember I was talking about the Ozlith and cards that are a little bit overlooked, if you ask me, on the reserve list. Cards that people don't look at when new cards are printed. But coming in this week, a creature. I love to see a creature at the way down at the number 1 slot on our Brody Alfonso's bottom 10. Balduvian Hydra, the number 1 card on our list this week from Ice Age. For $1.35 or €1.76, you can get a copy of Balduvian Hydra into your collection. Balduvian Hydra is one of the original Hydras, come right behind the Rock Hydra in the first couple of sets of Magic the Gathering, Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, and Revised. Ice Age brought us Balduvian Hydra, and it's on the reserve list. Hydra creature type matters in this day and age. More and more amazing Hydras are being printed, and with cards like the Ozlith that allow counters to be moved off of creatures when they go to the graveyard and redistributed any which way you want, there's plenty of reasons to play the Balduvian Hydra, and for $1.35 we're going to get a copy in our collection. It says when Balduvian Hydra enters the battlefield, put X plus 1/0 counters on it. 0. Remove a 1/0 counter from Balduvian Hydra. Prevent 1 damage to Balduvian Hydra. New heads can be grown by paying 3 red mana. Put a plus 1/0 counter on Balduvian Hydra. Use this ability only during your upkeep. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. This has been a real pleasure to bring you the 110 amazing Magic the Gathering subscribers, another bottom 10 reserve list cards video that no one cares about. And we might, if you look back in a few of the videos that we did, some of these cards might just go the way of Hivis of the Scale. We called it here first before anybody else did. Brody was buying Hivis of the Scale at under $2 a couple of months back. That card's caught on. If you want to build some fun into your Magic the Gathering collection, this is the place to be. AlphonsoInvestments. Thanks to all the free Treons for watching. Smash Jackson, Garen Jotter, Dusty Cully, Murray Cooper, Coin Pomeroy, Tyler Harrison, Tyler Friesen, Kyle Mears, and the one and only MTG Moxman, who's going to be bringing us the top 10 list on the reserve list that have been selling throughout the week, and I can't wait to watch that video this weekend. A special thank you to our Patreons, Garen Jotter and Earl of Drummer. A shout out to you as always. Leave a comment in the comments section below. And thanks a lot for hitting the like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Once again, this is your host Brody at Alfonso Investments. We'll talk to you again real soon. Here's looking at you, infernal Denizen.